First, our top story this half hour, the John Edwards trial. Testimony resumes on Monday with the wife of Andrew Young, Edwards' former friend and campaign aide, taking the stand. Her husband wrapped up his testimony on Friday. He was supposed to be the prosecution's star witness, but he seemed to melt down under cross-examination. Here's Jim Axelrod.
It is fifth day on the stand and second on cross-examination. Defense attorneys hammered Andrew Young, accusing him of bilking John Edwards' wealthy donors of hundreds of thousands of dollars. The same money the government alleges Edwards collected as campaign contributions, but used to hide his mistress and love child. To follow that money, attorney Abby Lowell referred to amended tax returns from 2008, filed by Young. In them, Young said he spent $56,000 on Riel Hunter, even though he received more than $550,000 from donors Fred Barron and Rachel Bunny Mellon. The defense argues money intended as gifts to Edwards was siphoned off by Young to build his dream home, complete with pool and home theater system, luxuries that cost $200,000. Lowell also grilled Young about his final meeting with John Edwards, in which Young claims to have feared for his life. Lowell asked, quote, "Were you afraid of a weapon or a tape recorder?" Young answered, "Both."
The spotlight was on Andrew Young the entire time. That's where the defense wants it. The prosecution, however, wants to return it back to John Edwards.
Young kept his cool throughout the grilling, breaking down just once when talking about what he put his kids and his wife through. Jim Axelrod, CBS This Morning, New York.
And for more on the case, we turn to Jean Casarez, correspondent for In Session on True TV. And great to have you with us, Jean, as always.
Thank you so much. So nice to be here.
How much is this hurting their argument, the prosecution's argument?
It's not a good star witness, right? I mean, inconsistencies, out-and-out lies. But this is going to be a 6-week trial. This is the first witness. And think about it. If he was involved in this conspiracy, as the prosecutors say, and he spent so much time with John Edward. We know he said he was the father of the child when he wasn't publicly. This is not a Boy Scout. You take your witnesses as you get them, and I don't think the prosecution believed he was going to be this valued person with high morals.
So what does the prosecution try to do here to get their case back on track?
They've got to focus on the facts. They've got to look at the facts, and so many more things are going to come out, because the core issue is these monetary contributions that John Edward admitted he knew about. Were they campaign contributions? And of course, or gifts. And of course, the defense is saying, no, it was so his wife Elizabeth didn't know about it. But what the prosecution has got to come forth with are not only statements that he made to others about the money and what the monies were for, texts, emails, phone messages, but also the fact is that he wanted to be president. And when you want to be president, you need a first lady, right? And so maybe he didn't want Elizabeth to find out, but not because he cared, because he wanted to be president.
Outside of Young, then, who's going to help them execute that strategy?
Let me give you one example. There is a witness. I was reading over the indictment. Always go back to the basics, right? And in the indictment, it talks about a fellow employee of the John Edwards campaign, and they were trying to construct something to let the people know that he was the father of the baby. It was a statement they were going to prepare. Allegedly, John Edwards told him all about the money, what it was for. It was so that Riel Hunter wouldn't get to the media and that it had to be covered up. That person will take the stand. That will be evidence for the prosecution.
And let's not forget here, as all this is taking place, as unlikable as John Edwards is right now, he is a brilliant trial lawyer. And he made millions understanding juries and the way that they think and the way they operate. So he's there advising his counsel right now as all this takes place, one would presume.
Oh, I think it's a valuable asset for the defense, no question about it. And the defense may put on some former federal election commissioners to take the stand to say this was not a campaign contribution. That could be very helpful for the defense. I mean, to the point of acquitting him in the end. So this trials go through ebbs and flows, right? Prosecution's ahead, defense is ahead. I think both sides gained from Andrew Young, but I think the defense really won because his incredibility on the stand was immense. Let's watch it as it continues.
Do you think they knew, the defense knew coming into this, that Andrew Young may backfire on the prosecution, that they were banking on that possibility?
You better believe it. They were hoping, they were praying, they were banking. The defense lawyer is a former justice official. He's brilliant. And I think the prosecution knew a lot, too. They knew the book that he'd come out with. He knew a lot of things in the book were falsities, which is another issue. We can't believe what we buy and what we read. Sad.
But if you're John Edwards right now, you're feeling pretty good.
You shouldn't feel too good, right?
This
is a 6-week trial.
Yeah.
So,
And there's still a lot coming out, I mean, just on a personal basis about this trial.
a lot coming out, and a lot I think the public may not know yet. So we've got to listen because it's fascinating.
Jean Casarez,
Thanks,
as
Jean.
always, thank you.
Thank you.